Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to talk about zero-based budgeting and how to get started with your first zero-based budget. By the end of this video, you'll know what zero-based budgeting is, the pros and cons of zero-based budgeting, and how to create your first zero-based budget with the free budgeting template that you can download from our website. I've included the link to the free budgeting template right below this video. Some people also refer to a zero-based budget as a zero-sum budget or balanced budget. It all means the same thing, so don't let this confuse you. I'll be using the term zero-based budget throughout most of this video just to keep things as clear as possible. Do you use zero-based budgeting or have you tried it before? We'd love to hear from you and what you think of this budgeting method. So drop us a comment below and let us know. For those of you new to Diamond NestEgg, this is the #1 place to learn about money from someone that teaches about money every single day. I'm Jennifer, personal finance educator and money expert. And when we're not on this channel talking about your money, we're working with small and medium-sized businesses to improve employee financial literacy and wellness. And we're here every week with a new video. So if you're interested in learning about saving, investing, insurance, and retirement, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell. Based on a recent survey conducted by budgeting app Mint.com, 65% of Americans don't have a budget. It's no wonder then that even before the pandemic, nearly half of Americans were living paycheck to paycheck. And according to CNBC, the percentage of folks living paycheck to paycheck actually increased to 63% at the end of December 2020. No surprise, given everything that has happened in the past year. And that is why budgeting is so important. Without a budget, you're in the same tough spot as 3 out of 5 Americans. You have absolutely no idea where your money went last month. And you don't want to be one of those people, waiting until the end of the month to discover that you have little to nothing left in your bank account. Little to nothing left for your financial future. But that's essentially what's going to happen if you don't start budgeting. If you don't start giving each hard-earned dollar of yours a job of its own, a purpose, that dollar will be spent on something that you had not planned on, whether that's a coffee, a handbag, a night out, or a weekend away. And that is where the zero-based budget comes in. But before we dive in, if you're enjoying this video, please give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. YouTube loves it when you show us some love. This really helps with our video and channel rankings so that we can get more of this good stuff out to other folks that are looking to get their financial lives in order this year. So back to zero-based budgeting. As I mentioned, with a zero-based budget, you give every dollar a job, a purpose. You assign each and every dollar that you earn to an expense category and put it basically to work in that category. Income minus expenses in a zero-based budget is always zero. Hence the term zero-based budget. Expense categories can be for spending, paying off debt, or savings. Spending categories can include items such as rent, utilities, transportation, groceries, and clothing. Paying off debt can mean paying off credit card debt, student loans, personal loans, car loans, or any other debt that you owe anyone. And savings categories include all the money you stash away in your emergency fund, travel fund, house fund, retirement, or other savings and investment accounts. By treating your savings and investments like all your other monthly bills, like all your other expenses, you're essentially paying yourself first. Every month, no matter what. Savings becomes something that is automated and included in your budget, quasi-baked into your budget, not something you just think about at the end of the month. To learn more about paying yourself first, check out this video here. Paying yourself first and automating this as much as possible is one of the fundamental pillars of personal finance and wealth building. So let's take Lucy as an example. As you can see, Lucy earns $3,800 every month after taxes. That's what you see circled in red. To the right of that, where the yellow arrow is pointing, That's Lucy's zero-based budget. And everything highlighted in yellow in the budget are her spending and debt payoff categories. And if you total up Lucy's spending and debt payoff categories that are highlighted in yellow, so the $2,000 for rent, the $300 for utilities, $300 for transportation, $300 for groceries, $100 for clothing, and the $500 for her minimum monthly loan payments, plus what is highlighted in green, the $300 in the savings category that she's putting towards her emergency fund, you'll see that all these numbers, these expenses in her budget, total up to $3,800, which is exactly what her monthly income is. Now, let's assume that Lucy gets a monthly raise of $200. Yay, bringing her monthly income to $4,000 instead of $3,800. This means that in her zero-based budget on the right-hand side where the expenses are, she would have to find another category to assign those extra $200 to in order for the expense side to also equal to her income side of $4,000. Remember, with a zero-based budget, income minus expenses must always be zero. If you cover all your expenses during the month and have $1,000 left over, which would be fantastic, you aren't done with your zero-based budget yet. You must tell that extra $1,000 where to go. The reason behind this is that if you don't, you'll most likely spend it on super random stuff and lose the opportunity to make that extra $1,000 work for you in the areas of getting out of debt, saving for an emergency, investing, paying off your house, or simply growing your wealth. You have to tell every dollar where to go. If you like what you're hearing and want to learn more, don't forget to give us a like and hit that subscribe button. We have a ton more budgeting stuff coming out over the next few weeks, including other budgeting techniques, apps, and tools that you may find useful in laying your foundation for financial success. And to give you a bit of background on zero-based budgeting, it was actually created in the business world. It was created nearly half a century ago by a manager at Texas Instruments, one of the world's 10 largest semiconductor companies. And the reason it was created was exactly for this purpose, to make sure that managers knew where every single dollar in their budget went, to ensure that there was no wasteful spending in any company department. In fact, global giants like Kraft Heinz and Diageo Beverages still use zero-based budgeting to manage their company's finances today. And that's one of the reasons we use zero-based budgeting with so many of our clients, because it allows you to really dig down deep into your exact spending and identify precisely where you're overspending and by how much every single month so that you know where to cut back. And if you want to get started with zero-based budgeting, download our free zero-based budgeting template. The link is included in the video below. Now, zero-based budgeting. It can get detailed and complicated, so we've tried to keep this template as simple as possible. We love simple at Diamond NestEgg, and we'll do a quick walkthrough right now of how this template works. After you've downloaded the budget sheet, click on the second tab. It's labeled Month 1. You'll see here on the left-hand side at the very top, there's a table for you to enter your monthly take-home pay. This is where you enter your monthly income after taxes, the amount that actually hits your bank account. And if you have a partner and you're budgeting together, there's a row where you can enter your partner's income after taxes as well. There are also additional rows below that for any side hustle income that you might have. The actual column is what you actually receive. You fill this out when the money actually hits your account. And the estimate column is what you are expecting to receive based on income from previous months. The totals will be calculated automatically. If you look to the right of this, you'll see your budget. Everything in this section is calculated. If you try to make changes here, this box will pop up. To make changes, just unprotect the sheet and make changes to the formulas, to the calculations, carefully. To do this, click on the OK button, go to the Review tab on the top, and click on Unprotect Sheet. Please note though, you'll be making changes at your own risk because we can't guarantee that everything in the template will still work properly after you've made your changes. So it's best to make a copy of your work before unprotecting it and altering it in any way. You'll see as we scroll down, there's a separate section for each savings and expense category. Expense categories include everything from housing, utilities, transportation, and food, to personal, medical, health, charity, miscellaneous, and debt repayment. And under each of these big categories, everything is broken down to further detail into smaller subcategories. So you see, under personal, we have entertainment, childcare, toiletries, and a ton of other stuff. Under savings, we have emergency fund, retirement fund, travel fund, and other savings and investment categories. In case you're not yet saving for retirement, this is definitely one thing you should start doing as soon as you can. Generally speaking, the earlier you start saving, the more money you'll have by the time you retire. If you're interested in learning about saving for retirement and why you should start sooner rather than later, take a look at our retirement playlist right here. It walks through all of this and more, including the different types of retirement accounts that are available to you and which one might be best for you. So let me show you now a sample zero-based budget that we've worked out for Lucy. Everything in the green boxes is calculated, and you can see that Lucy's budgeted monthly income minus her budgeted monthly expenses is zero. All Lucy needs to do now is go in once a week or every few days if she's super motivated and fill out the actual and spent columns. And voila, there's Lucy's zero-based budget. For zero-based budgeting, you do need to track your spending meticulously. For cash expenses, you can do this by making a note in your smartphone every time you hand over a wad of cash somewhere, or by writing down what you spent in a small notebook. For credit card transactions, just go through your credit card bills every few days or every week. This leads us to the first negative to zero-based budgeting. It's a fair bit of work. There's no sugarcoating it. Tracking your expenses takes time. Doing your first zero-based budget takes time. In fact, the first time you do a zero-based budget, it might take a few hours and a lot of deleting and erasing. It will take less time as you do it more and more often and as you get used to it, but zero-based budgeting is still one of the most time-consuming budgeting techniques out there. And the reason for this is because it is so detailed. The second negative is that you need to be committed. Tinkering with your budget has to be done every pay cycle or every month. You need to adjust all your categories regularly. So that's a lot of commitment. Zero-based budgeting is really for folks that love attention to detail and don't mind digging into the nitty-gritty. There are pluses and minuses to everything in life, and this is a case in point. The first negative we mentioned just now, that zero-based budgeting takes so much time because it is so detailed. It's actually also reason number one for why some people love zero-based budgeting and why we love it. This level of detail really helps you understand exactly how much you're spending and what you're spending it on. It shows you precisely where your overspending takes place and how much you need to cut things down by to reach your financial goals. Reason number two that some folks love zero-based budgeting is this, and we've already talked about it as well. It automatically puts savings into your budget and gets you started with paying yourself first. Savings moves from being an afterthought to something that is right in the front line of the budget. There is a reason why we have the savings category up front and center in the budgeting template. Because the first thing you should prioritize in your budget is you and your savings. Now, before you dive into all the numbers and take a first stab at your zero-sum budget, make sure that you first figure out your financial goals. This is the first tab in the budgeting template you just downloaded. Whereas your budget is your money plan, your GPS, your financial goals, those are your destination. You can't create a plan, can't set that GPS before you set your destination. To learn the quickest easiest way to go through this financial goal setting exercise, check out this video right over here. Once you've figured out your financial goals and you have your first zero-sum budget in hand, if you find that you are indeed overspending every month, that your income minus your expenses is negative and not zero, no matter what you do, take a look at the savings and emergency fund playlist here. These videos will walk you through how to start saving smarter, as well as strategies for reducing those typical high-cost categories like groceries and other shopping items. And if this is something that sounds like, wow, too much work, remember you spend at least 40 hours every week at work for your hard-earned money. Isn't it worth at least a few hours a month to make sure that that hard-earned money is going towards the right things, the right savings targets, and the right financial goals, that it's going towards a future that you want for yourself? Listen, financial goals, budgeting, savings targets, it's not easy stuff, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. So if you find that you're stuck or need some help getting started, shoot us an email at hello@diamondnestegg.com to see what we can do to help you set up a strong money foundation and help you achieve your financial goals. All right, guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give us a thumbs up and smash that subscribe button and tell all your family and friends about Diamond Nest Egg. We really appreciate everything you're doing to support this channel, just as we hope you're making the most of the support we're giving you on your journey towards financial freedom. We'll be back in a few days with another money-saving, wealth-building video. Everyone's financial journey is different, and we'll do our best to educate you so that yours is as smooth and stress-free as possible. In the meantime, check out our other money-saving, wealth-building videos and shoot us an email at hello@diamondnestegg.com if you have any questions at all.